it's that time of the year in the end of July in Chicago, Illinois, and all collectors alike can bask in the National. National in general, it goes back much farther. It actually started in 1980. So if you want some history about the National, and let me get this straight before we get going. Let me throw my finger up. It's not the Nationals, it's the National. There's only one National, there's no plural, okay? And it is really the mecca of all card memorabilia, grading, everything you want is what the National is. And I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be a really cool event. And I'm stoked to get into these episodes with you. So if you want to know a little bit about this one, it's going to be July 28th to August 1st in Chicago, Illinois. And I would venture to say, if you're a dealer, it's definitely not July 28th. It's July 26th or the 27th. Because of all of the other things that are going on in early setup day and whatnot. The venue is quite large. It's this big room in Rosemont, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. It'll be here before you know it. I'm excited. If you don't know, you've never been, you should go. You should start making plans for this. The National, in terms of historical side, the very first one was in, I believe, LA in a hotel, and then it went to Michigan that was 1980. Then it went to Michigan in 1981. And now it's become really synonymous with the show. From a standpoint of, you just gotta go. You just have to experience what the card market looks like on a grand national scale. It is everything that you think it is and more. It is by far one of the marquee events in terms of quality. It is by far the marquee event in terms of marketplace. Shout out to Collectors Con. Check us out at collectors-con.com. We are hosting a massive thing coming up in Tampa Convention Center in Labor Day weekend. But as we grow into this, the National has always been the blueprint. It has always been what is by far the card show that stands out above the rest. And everyone has tried to mimic it. Everyone has tried to come up with, other elements of the National, make it look like the National, talk about it, compare to it, but you just can't. We have so many awesome collectors and people across this globe who come to this event. So going back to some history, you had started in the 1980s and really just grew and grew and grew and grew. And really the last 5 to 10 years, I think, has really just seen record numbers in terms of attendance, in terms of the quality of guests, in terms of the vendors, in terms of the corporate sponsors that do show up to this event. Some people might ask, what is going to be there? What are you going to see at the National? The answer to that question about what is the National has always been the same answer. And you're going to laugh, but it's everything. I kid you not. If you can't find it at the National, you're probably not going to find it elsewhere. I've seen just such an eclectic mix of so many unique pieces of memorabilia, autographs, collectibles, and of course, sports cards. And now I would even venture to say gaming cards, Pokemon, things of that nature as you get into that. Fringe sports, non-sports. What I've noticed in the last couple of years is the National has not just been a show during the day and then everybody goes to go see a Cubs game or a White Sox game, goes to a casino, whatever. That's not the National anymore. The National is everything around the show and the after show. There will be trade night. There are distributions, so GTS, Southern, Peach, those companies that sell the wax, they have parties for all the shops and distributors and people that buy from those accounts. There's usually the Panini VIP night. Topps has something as well. But there's just a lot of other moving parts aside from the National and what it represents. And then also, I guess the question is what it's like. I would just say be there every day if you can. To not just take it in, because if you've never gone before, it will be overwhelming because there will be so much going on. So many cards, so many vendors, all these schedule things happening inside it. Famous people you might see walking around. Bill Simmons over there one year. Mike Tyson one year I see walking around. Rick from Pawn Stars one year. A-Rod comes to do a signing. He brings J-Lo with him one year. So there's just a lot of elements of surprise. You have no idea who's going to show up. And then, of course, the cards. It used to be $50,000 cards, $100,000 cards were the big thing. Now it's $1 million cards at people's tables. Now, because of the card boom, it's crazy to think that you won't see $1 million worth of cards at a table. You're going to be seeing multi-million dollars and $10 million cards. And I'm not talking about Golden, and I'm not talking about the big ones. I'm talking about just people who bring their stuff out. If you're someone who likes action in terms of going out and being a part of something, the National is for you. I'd say you are the number one person to be going to this event, so make sure you get your tickets. If you are somebody who is a little skeptical and you're unsure about dealing with people with maybe selling and trading, I'll say this, there are 400, 500, 600 probably vendors there on top of all the people walking around, trading and hanging out. You will be fine. Trust me, there will be people there you will vibe with. whether you're an introvert, extrovert, in between, whether you are a high-end collector, low-end collector, mid-end collector, in between, whether you're memorabilia, sports cards, autographs, in between, there is everybody there. You know, as you're in lines and as you're spending time there, talk to people. I mean, you just get to really learn and see just where the hobby is. I've learned so much from people at the National, made so many friends, people that I met for the first time at the National, and I'm excited to just kind of see as the hobby grows. But I guess the first thing I just want to tell you guys is just be excited for the time that is coming. There is a lot of stress and there can be a lot of stressful elements to it. I would just encourage you to really enjoy it, embrace the fact that we have kind of our Disney World trip coming up, and it is scheduled, it is on play. There may be some subtle differences. The grading may not be the same. The booths may not be the same in terms of the corporate. The hobby will be there. I'm excited as much as many of you are. I can't wait to see some of you out there. Please stop by our booth. All right, I look forward to it. Hopefully this was helpful just as an intro episode about the National. But be tuned for the next 4 weeks. I'm going to lay it on you folks as somebody who's been there, done it, and wants to share it with you guys. Appreciate it. And until next time, see ya. It's National time, baby. 2021.